Hello Oscar, Grandpa here. I hope you're well. And it's actually not just Grandpa, but guess who? Moosey. You want to give Oscar a kiss? Of course, I'll give him a kiss. Yeah, so, yeah, Moosey, you be good now. Yeah, you know, you've got to sit still. So, he's a bit wriggly, isn't he, Oscar? And lots of love from me, and lots of love from Granny, and Auntie Anna too. And I hope you're having fun. And I thought I'd read you a little bit more from the Silky Seal Pup. It's such a lovely story. I know we've read it before. And if you remember, Zoe was carrying Star, the Silky Seal Pup, to her enclosure, and it was still too early for visitors, so the red brick paths were quiet. That meant Zoe and Meep could chat to Star as much as they liked. Zoe carried the little seal, and Meep perched on her shoulder. He'd stopped being grumpy now, and was cheerily telling Star about the other animals as they passed them. "That's Sasha," he chattered. "She's a white tiger cub from Siberia." Oh, wow, Oscar, that's a long way away, Siberia. "That's a very cold place, like where you come from. And over there are Ernest and Emily, the anteaters. Aren't their long noses funny?" Meep chuckled to himself as he stuck out his tongue like an anteater. Can you stick your tongue out like an anteater, Oscar? I think you can. If you haven't seen an anteater before, you'll have to ask Mummy or Daddy to show you a picture of one. They're rather funny animals, I have to say. "And this is your new home," Zoe added, stopping at a gate in the fence. She reached for her silver paw print necklace and held it against a panel. With a tiny click, the gate swung open. Zoe was very proud of her special necklace, which had been a present from Great Uncle Horace. It let her open every gate in the whole zoo, just like the grown-up zookeepers. Beyond the gate was a huge, deep pool of cold blue water, with chunks of smooth ice floating on the surface and icy rocks glittering around it. A wide glass tunnel ran along the bottom of the pool so visitors could walk through it to watch the seals swooping and diving right above their heads. Lorna the seal keeper was inside the enclosure, wearing a wetsuit and holding a bucket of fish. "She's gorgeous," she gasped when she saw the little seal, reaching out to stroke Star's fluffy head. "Sally and Finn will be so excited to meet her." As she spoke, there was a happy honking sound from the water. Two sleek grey heads popped above the surface, calling a friendly greeting to the new baby. Sally and Finn were common seals with a pattern of dark spots on their silvery grey coats. So there's Sally and Finn. They do look cute, don't they? Star almost jumped right out of Zoe's arms. She was so excited to see them. Then Sally and Finn dived playfully to the bottom of the pool, and Zoe rushed into the glass tunnel underneath, so that Star could get a better look. Star's dark eyes lit up, and she snuffled excitedly as she watched them gliding through the water, somersaulting with a smooth swish of their flippers and tails. Zoe smiled, relieved the little pup seemed to love her home already. And there's Star, look, and you can see the other two seals as they're looping around over the top of the tunnel. It's rather like when you go to see all the sea creatures in Vancouver at the aquarium. Very similar. When they came out of the tunnel, Lorna said, "Let's show Star where she's going to sleep." There was a row of small cosy rooms at the back of the enclosure. "This one belongs to Sally," Lorna told Zoe, pointing to the first doorway. "Finn is next door, and this one is for our new arrival." There was already a snug little bed made for Star. Zoe thought it looked very comfortable, but Star let out a worried wail. "Oh dear, it sounds like she's ready for a bottle of milk," Lorna said, smiling kindly at the pup. "Come with me, Zoe." Zoe knew Star wasn't upset because she was hungry. The little seal had realised she had to sleep by herself and was feeling frightened about the dark again. But Zoe couldn't tell Lorna that. Instead, she followed Lorna into a storeroom where all the seal's food was kept. There were lots of shiny silver fish packed in crates of ice, and a box of the special milk replacement for Star. Lorna started filling up a bottle, humming to herself. While she was distracted, Zoe tried to make Star feel better. "There's nothing to be scared of," she whispered. "Look how lovely your room is, and you're right next door to Sally and Finn." Suddenly Lorna's walkie-talkie crackled. "The Zoo meeting will start in my office in 5 minutes, barked a bossy voice. You know who it is, Oscar, don't you? It was Mr. Pinch, the Rescue Zoo's grumpy manager. Meep stuck his tiny tongue out at the walkie-talkie. The little lemur didn't like Mr. Pinch at all. "All zoo staff must be there. Don't be late," the voice continued crossly. "What's the zoo meeting about?" Zoe asked Lorna curiously. Lorna looked flustered. "Oh, nothing to worry about," she said, not quite looking Zoe in the eye. "You know Mr. Pinch, always fussing. I'll have to go, but I'll be back soon. Let's leave Star to get to know the others." Lorna quickly led them out to the poolside, and Zoe carefully placed Star on the ground next to the pool. Lorna said a hasty goodbye and left the enclosure. Zoe stared after her. First Great Uncle Horace was acting oddly, and now Lorna. "What's going on?" she wondered aloud. "Let's go and find out," Meep suggested. Zoe glanced at Star. "We won't be long," she promised the seal, who nodded nervously. "Why don't you explore your home with your new friends while we're gone?" Sally and Finn had climbed out of the pool and came over to sniff the new arrival. Star wriggled happily towards them. The older seals gave her a friendly nuzzle and then started to show Star around her new home. There's one of Sally and Finn showing Star around her new home. Isn't that cute? "She looks so cute, just like your sister. She's very cute too." Zoe smiled. She didn't feel bad leaving Star when she was having so much fun, but she knew the pup might get frightened again when it got dark. "I'll make sure I'm back before then," she thought. But now it's time to find out about what this mysterious meeting is about. She and Meep ran down the path as quickly as they could and spotted Lorna taking a short cut past the zebras. Zoe had to tiptoe after her so that she wasn't seen. She didn't like sneaking about, but she had to know what was going on. As Lorna got to Mr. Pinch's office, Zoe and Meep hid behind a tree and watched as all the keepers streamed in. "Lucy, what are you doing? You look like you've fallen asleep." "No, I haven't fallen asleep, have I? No. You awake still?" Yep. "Look, Meep, Mum and Great Uncle Horace are there too," whispered Zoe. When everyone was inside, Zoe and Meep crept up to the window and peeked through. Mr. Pinch was standing at the front of the room, clearing his throat, as if he was about to make a speech. Great Uncle Horace was next to him, with Kiki perched on his shoulder. Suddenly the old bird spotted Zoe and Meep in the window and squawked in surprise. "Can you squawk just like a parrot, Oscar?" Yeah, I'm not too sure about that." Zoe held her breath. If horrid Mr. Pinch saw them, she knew he'd tell them to leave immediately. She shook her head urgently at Kiki, hoping she wouldn't make another sound. To her relief, the macaw nodded back. "Quiet, please," Mr. Pinch announced sternly. "As you all know, the Rescue Zoo has been having some problems with money for a long time. Many of our animals are very expensive to look after, and we are not making enough money to keep them all." He glared at the keepers as if it was their fault. A worried murmur went around the room. Zoe frowned, an anxious feeling in her tummy. What did Mr. Pinch mean? Great Uncle Horace smiled comfortingly. "Now, everyone, there's no need to be alarmed. I came home from Alaska the moment I got Mr. Pinch's message, and I'm sure that if we all work together, we'll find a solution." He scratched his head thoughtfully. Perhaps we could have a cake sale. I do rather like a splendid carrot cake. Mr. Pinch frowned. I'm afraid it's much more serious than that, Mr. Higgins, he snapped. We have almost no money left, and if we don't find some very soon, the rescue zoo will have to close. What? Gasped Zoe, as Meek gave a squeak of horror. They stared at each other in disbelief. The rescue zoo couldn't close. There's the picture of the meeting with Zoe there. Look, she's looking really worried that the zoo might close. Oh dear. Chapter 5. The rescue zoo in danger. There's Meek. Look, Zoe giving Meep a cuddle. The whole meeting fell silent in shock. The zoo staff seemed as stunned as Zoe and Meep. But what about the animals? Asked Will, the penguin keeper, his face very pale. They would all be sent to other zoos, Mr. Pinch announced. Without the money to look after them, we would have no choice. Oh, Moosey, that's awful, isn't it? Isn't it awful? Yep. Zoe's heart was thumping fast. The animals, all her best friends in the world, lived at the rescue zoo. There was Bella the polar bear, Oscar the elephant. Oscar the elephant. And of course there was Beep. Zoe didn't know what she would do without her gorgeous, cheeky little friend, and even the thought of sending him away made her eyes fill with hot tears. But we can't do that to our animals, Alison the bird keeper exclaimed. We promised that every creature at the rescue zoo would have a safe, loving home here, for ever and ever. We can't make them leave. What about us? Cried Frankie, the giraffe keeper. This isn't our home, but we love working here. Where will we go if the zoo shuts? The room was suddenly full of anxious chatter. With a nasty shock, Zoe realised something. The other keepers didn't live at the zoo, but she did. The cottage at the rescue zoo was her home. If the zoo closed, there would be no need for a zoo vet anymore. Lucy and Zoe would have to leave their beautiful cosy cottage and live somewhere else. Oh dear, Oscar. But I think we know it all comes good, doesn't it? So look, we'll stop there, and I'll read you again next week, another little bit, and I hope you're enjoying the story. So have a lovely day, and it's lots of love to you and your little sister Annabelle and Mummy and Danny. Have a lovely time. And Moosey wants to say bye-bye, don't you, Moosey? Yeah. You going to say bye-bye? There he is, waving his hand. Yep, he's Moosey, and it's bye-bye from me, Grandpa, and from Granny, and for Auntie Anna. And have lots of fun, Oscar, and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye. Bye for now. Bye.